Do we have a name for this thing?
No?
Okay.
How about the weekly community
This,
schedule?
yeah, I was going to say that, or This Week in Community.
There you go. I like
Okay.
it.
All right. Welcome to This Week in Community. My name is Michael, and I'm joined here with Cindy. How are you today, Cindy?
Doing good. Ready to go.
Awesome. We are starting this new exciting thing to bring you a weekly recap of what we've got going on in ACB Community. But we figured before we started to just jump in and give you some events, we should tell you a little bit about ACB Community. So I'm going to ask Cindy if she can give us a brief overview of what is ACB Community.
Sure. It is a way for people to connect with one another. Our main audience are people who are blind or visually impaired, and they are not only the ones that participate, but they are also the ones who provide the content, host, all of it. And we've been doing this since March of 2020, and it's all via Zoom, as well as many events are streamed live on ACB Media.
And we've held over 24,000 events,
It's
which
amazing,
is
right?
an amazing number to think about.
Yeah.
So in the description, we'll have a link you can use to subscribe to our community email list. Comes out 6 days a week. Friday, you get the events for the entire weekend. And these will include Zoom links and other details related to the events. So definitely get subscribed. And in this video, we won't keep you for too long, but we will run through and give you a brief overview of the events. Lastly, one other thing that we may want to include is in the schedule, there are additional announcements like exciting swag available for community.
For sure. And also descriptions, full descriptions of the events. So we're just going to give you the title of the event, but you'll want to actually get the schedule to read what is going on in those events. Should we tell them how they can call in for the information?
You can always call 800-424-8666 to participate and get the details for the events. Know that schedule is only recorded once per week. So if you want the latest information, you definitely want to get involved by joining the mailing list for the events. We do only send out 6 emails a week. Every once in a while, we have to send a correction, but it's not too often.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the calls we'll talk about here in a moment is the very first call of every day, where we also read the schedule with a crew of individuals while we ask a question of the day, and that's also available on Media 5. Before we jump into it, you can always tell your Alexa device to ask ACB Media to play the number that we tell you with each event if you just want to listen or join us live. Anything else, Cindy, before we jump in?
Yeah, I mean, a third of our events are streamed on media. All of them are in Zoom. They originate in Zoom. And about a third of our events are also found in Clubhouse. So if you are a Clubhouse person, you can check out the ACB Club and you'll find our events there as they are happening. And we'd love to have you as well.
Awesome. Well, let's run over this quick schedule in title only for the week of May 11th, starting at all times listed are Eastern. So just be aware of that. And starting at 9 a.m., we have ACB Presents the daily schedule, which that call is streamed on Media 5. At 11 a.m., there is the breakfast brunch. And at 2 p.m., there's the monthly loom knitting workshop.
At 3 p.m., Ask the Pastor. 4 p.m., Bases Loaded, Unforgettable Baseball Moments. And 5 p.m., let's encourage each other with scripture.
Continuing on Sunday at 6 p.m., there's the Braille Room. And at 7 p.m., there's Sunday Night Shelling streamed on Media 5. 9 p.m., there's Ivy Entrepreneur Exchange, How to Get Referrals.
Now we're going to slide into Monday, May 12th. 9 a.m., ACB presents the daily schedule, also heard on ACB Media 5. 10 a.m., a message of love.
At 11 a.m., we have Manic Monday and Scriptural Rosary.
At 2 p.m., JC's Community Corner, karaoke experiences. And at 3 p.m., the Jewish Hour.
4 p.m., we have Deciphering Dots and Easy Chair Yoga.
At 5 p.m., Sports Roundtable, also on ACB Media 5. 6 p.m., Friendship Circle.
7 p.m., we have Get the Scoop, and 8 p.m., CCLVI Game Night.
9 p.m., Bookability, also on Media 5. And 10 p.m., Serenity.
On Tuesday, May 13th, we have kicking it off at 9 a.m. the ACB Presents Daily Schedule, and that is on Media 5. And 10 a.m., Herbie's Community Cooking Corner.
11 a.m., the Morning Mingle, and Tuesday's Turning Pages Book Brunch.
And at 2 p.m., we have Games to Play with Lady A on Media 5 and Let's Talk AI.
At 3 p.m., ACB Crafter Crochet and Homophones with Mary Hopt, also on Media 5.
4 p.m., we have Resistance with Leslie and the ins and outs of sight loss later in life.
At 5 p.m., All Paws on Deck. 6 p.m., Braille Room.
And at 6 p.m., we also have Cats Everywhere with California, and we also have California Council of the Blind Diabetics in Action.
At 7 p.m., Tuesday Topics can be heard on Media 1. And at 8 p.m., ACB Mystery Book Group.
Also at 8 p.m., we have Mac Bites with Brad Snyder and Pitch Fast and Elevate Yourself, heard on ACB Media 5.
At 8:30 p.m., Resolutions Committee Working Meeting. And that can be heard on ACB Media 6. At 9 p.m., Conversational French.
Also at 9 p.m., we have the She Shed, and then 10 p.m., we have the Chat Cafe.
All right, now we're into Wednesday, May 14th. At 9 a.m., ACB Presents the Daily Schedule, can be heard on Media 5. And at 10 a.m., Motivation on Mute.
And at 11 a.m., we have Lisa's Living Room with DJ Freshness. And at 1 p.m., the Classical Music Place.
At 2 p.m., Creative Journey and Widows and Widowers.
3:30 p.m. has Happy Hour Cardio, followed by 4 p.m. Lady A Talks to Tyann and Living with No Vision.
At 5 p.m., Introductory Spanish, and Whether or Not is at 6 p.m.
Okay, this is my favorite one. Maybe not favorite, but 7 p.m. Cowboys and Ranch Recipe Swap, streamed on Media 5, and Sharing and Caring Support Group for caregivers.
I can understand why you were attracted to that recipe swap, because it just sounds yummy, right?
Yep.
All right. At 7:30 p.m., we have Better Living, Better Life, Independent Living Skills. And at 8 p.m., Living Better with Diabetes.
Also at 8 p.m. on Media 5 is Office Space, and then 8:30 p.m. Meditation Celebration.
At 9 p.m., Abby's Alcove and Awakening Through Vedic Wisdom.
And now we're on to Thursday, May 15th, and starting at 9 a.m. with ACB Presents the Daily Schedule on Media 5, and 11 a.m. is Let's Talk Together.
At 12 p.m. noon, we have I Love Braille. And at 1 p.m., Wardrobe Solutions.
At 4 p.m., we have Sight and Hearing Loss, a group chat. And then at 5 p.m., we have Beginning Spanish.
At 6 p.m., Christian Book Chat and Creative Inspirations, Selling Your Crafts.
7 p.m., we have Book Match and GCB Peach Talk.
At 8 p.m., 12-step recovery meeting, and CCLVI monthly book discussion. And then at 8:30 p.m., Resolutions Committee working meeting can be heard on Media 6.
At 9 p.m., we have Grade 3 Braille get-together and navigating social situations.
Continuing at 9 p.m., we have Thursday Nightcap. And at 10 p.m., Speed Friendship.
On Friday, May 16th, we have 9 a.m. ACB Presents the Daily Schedule. And then at 11 a.m., we have Allison's Community Cafe. And then at 12 p.m., we have Mindful Movement to Manage Stress.
At 2 p.m., we have Free to Be Me, Books and Entertainment. And at 3 p.m., Judy and Lucy's Music Memories.
At 4 p.m., we have Blindness and More. And at 5 p.m., we have In Perspective, streamed on Media 5.
At 7 p.m., we have Visibilities. ACB Changes can be heard on Media 1. And at 9 p.m., It's Playtime can be heard on Media 5.
On Saturday, May 17th, we kick things off at 9 a.m. with ACB Presents the Daily Schedule on Media 5. And then 11 a.m., Community Unmuted, again on Media 5.
At 11 a.m., we continue with Saturday morning trivia. And then we have Blindness Prematurity Call at noon.
At 1 p.m., we have ACB Government Employees Open Chat and the Friendship Circle.
At 3 p.m., Personal Finance and Investing. And at 4 p.m., Tar Heel Tailgate.
5 p.m., Friends Supporting Friends with Diabetes. And 6 p.m., Basic iPhone Class on Media 5.
And also at 6 p.m., Weekend Braille Together, Base Braille Ball. And at 8 p.m., one of my favorite calls, Community Karaoke, and it can be heard on Media 4. And that is our busy weekly schedule for the week of May 11th.
Definitely hope that we're able to connect with you in community. As mentioned at the beginning, send an email to the email address in the description. If you're not able to access the description, just drop us a quick email to community@acb.org. We'll be happy to get you signed up, or call 800-424-8666.
Join our community.
Exactly. We appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Anything else, Cindy?
Nope, just we want to meet you. So come on in and join a place where it's safe, respectful, and welcoming, and we'd love to have you.